Hey guys, welcome to the live. Hi Layla, hi Sam, hi Nancy, hey Robert, hey guys. So there's just there might be a little bit of background noise because there's some farm stuff going on. But it shouldn't go on too long. So we'll see. Hey Francis. So you may hear a chainsaw. You might hear a tractor. So it's just a little bit of background noise. It won't be too long. Hi Jean. Hi Tom. Hi Jessica. Hey guys. Awesome. Well, so of course, before we begin, let's welcome in our entourage. Let's welcome in our higher levels. And let's put everything that is not us, that is no longer serving us, and has nothing to do with us, let's put it outside of us. Okay, so all of the pressure from the outside world, everything going on in the external reality, including the sound of the bobcat and the chainsaw that I'm sure they'll turn it on in a second, and all of the outside, the perceptive problems. Okay, all of the good, all of the bad, all of the right, all of the wrong, all of the judgment. Okay, so let's done with the mind. Of course, you can say it with your mind or you can say it with your words if it helps you. Okay, but this is actually done energetically. So I forget what I titled the live, but I think something to do with how to awaken. Okay, so and it's not awakening is not done through the mind. Okay, so it's actually not about you bought into this perception and then we're buying into going to someone's page or finding the truth somewhere else or buying into another perception. It's an energetic thing, dissolving all of those perceptions, okay, so that you can come in, okay, because the creator does not know judgment. Why would the creator create something just to judge it? And it wouldn't, right? Hi guys, hi Bill, Rob, Doug, hi Maggie. Um, so we just want to bring in ourselves, okay? So, and even if you don't feel anything, just by making the intention, okay, you're bringing yourself in, okay? So, and that includes the chitter chatterbox of the mind and all of that density, all of the overwhelm, we put it outside of us because that's where it belongs. Okay, so how the old paradigm, the power systems of money, greed, sex, power, and control, how it came about is we started to take it in, take it on, and make it our own and create it for ourselves. Okay, so that's actually how it stays uh, in place and in your life, is if you continue to take it on, take it in, and make it your own. And that's why no other creator who seemingly may be in an extraterrestrial body, who maybe is an angel or even Sananda, no one can save you because it's actually you creating it for yourself. Okay. And why would they? Because it's a free will universe. Okay. And they love you so much, but they cannot, and they, as themselves, the love that they are, would never try to control you, never try to convince you that they know the right way. Okay. They allow, if it's a being of love, it will always allow you to find your way home the best, the way that you want to. Okay. And the best way that you know how at the time. Okay. So some use the words, they do not interfere. Okay. But there's still a perception that they don't interfere because they don't want to, or they're just on in heaven or on their pedestals and looking down at humanity and saying, tisk tisk, you guys just figure it out on your own. That's not how it is. It's actually they cannot interfere. A creator cannot interfere with another creator's creation, okay? If they could, then what would happen is the world would end. So it's only through the ego, this little construct that the mind has bought into, okay, that someone tries to enforce their will on others, okay? That is not from love. And that's where humanity keeps playing energy games with each other, trying to convince one another that they know better or they know the right way, okay? Each being, it's interesting if you were to connect, okay, from the heart to someone or something you perceive to be bad or doing bad things, they perceive themselves actually to be the good guy, okay? I talked about it before, they perceive themselves to be assisting others, okay? They believe that they know better than others, okay? And then comes along the good guy, or the perceptive good guy, and he starts to hurt the bad guy because he believes he knows better than others. So they're both playing the same game, okay? So it's just so it's time to step out of that. So the perception I've seen on Patreon, I've seen a few of you. Hold on, let me get a drink before I continue. So I've seen a few comments on Patreon already, some saying, and it's interesting. I love you guys so much. So some saying they are on the wrong path, some saying they are on the right path for sure, and then some saying they've been on the wrong path, but now they're on the right path. And so it's see, right and wrong, there actually is no such thing, okay? It's only, see, what is right to some people is wrong to another, is right to another, is wrong to another. So these are all perceptions and belief systems created by the ego, okay? So what is right for someone, see, you can only choose what is right for you. You only know what is right for you. You do not know what is right for another being, okay? So but even the perception that there is a right way or a wrong way. So this is, I mean, Earth is a playground. So basically to come and you find out what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Okay, so how could there be a right or wrong way to do anything? Who is deciding what is right or wrong? And it comes from, I mean, yeah, this is a lot of religious programming in the subconscious, that there is, yeah, a right way to be, a wrong way to be, but where is the God over us all deciding who is right and who is wrong? God is within you, God is within me. It's not a God like humans have created. So, a God of judgments. God is love, and love is everywhere. So, I am love, you are love. Every being is their very own unique being, their own unique aspect of love. Okay. So there's no way that I could fit into anyone's box of what is right or what is wrong. I am something so much bigger, and so are you. Okay, but where does that come from? Here comes my loon. Loony! She can't get on the porch though. I've locked her out because she's all muddy. So, but but she's running up here with all the hope in the world. So, but anyways, where does that perception come from? So, when things are not going, see, because your higher levels, okay, not the part of you that perceives to be the ego, okay, this conglomerate that of judgments that is based on fear, that is part of the ego. That's what most of humanity perceives themselves to be, okay? And so because they don't know who they are, there's a perception that everything is happening to you, okay, that life is just happening to you, you are a victim, and everyone that is making your life hard is a villain, they're evil, they're possessed, they're whatever, okay, and that you cannot help yourself because You cannot control the world. And so okay, so this is just all of, in a nutshell, the perceptions of the ego. Okay, uh, so it's really when you see things from your eyes, your higher levels eyes, okay? It's you are the one choosing all of these experiences, everything that comes to you. Obviously, if it's something you don't enjoy, right? It's for you to say, okay, no, I'm not playing here anymore. I am done with this and I'm going to transcend it and move on. Not to run away from it, not to push it away, okay? Because that's going into fight or flight, but just to address it. Why is this happening? Okay, it's happening to bring me back to myself, to come back to the heart, to come out of the ego. Okay, the ego doesn't like it, and that's great because the ego has to die in order for more of you to come in. Isn't that wonderful? So we want to address it, we want to look at it, we don't want to run away from it or continue to blame it on other people. It's not their fault. So and see, why is this going on? Why is this happening? So we can call in our entourage, we can call in our higher levels. See, the power of the entire universe is available to you, okay? Not the ego's version of power, but the true version of power. It's just, in order to access it, we have to get out of victim mode. Okay, the idea that everything is happening to us and that we're somehow just born by happenstance and we're a victim of somebody else's creation. So, yes, let me get a drink. Hey Phil, hey Tony. There's a chainsaw. So anyways, going back to the question, am I on the right path or am I on the wrong path? See, it might feel like the wrong path because things are you're not going your way or the way that you thought it would, okay? And I can see it from two ways. So yes, it's the ego is dying because you bought into something. You believed that if you did this, you did X, Y, or Z, you would get what you want. And now, and people aren't acting the way that you want them to, and life isn't going the way you want it to. So things are not going your way. So you must be on the wrong path. Okay. And there is no right or wrong. Actually, every path is the right path. Every path leads home. Okay. How can it not? It's just that, see, you can choose either to continue to run away from your run away from what you don't like, or fight what you don't like, but it will just give you more and more and more of what you don't like, of what you don't want. Okay, whether you run away from it, whether you fight it, because you're giving energy to it, you're the creator. So, and then you go further and further into the ego and further away from the love that you are, and that's when it really starts to feel like I am on the wrong path, something has gone terribly wrong. Okay, but you are eternal. There's nothing that can't be transcended. Okay, why would you create an experience for yourself just to get yourself stuck? It cannot and will not and will never happen. Okay, so that's where people perceive really that this is, I am on the wrong path and there's no way out. So nothing. Also, I cannot stress this enough. So we are not physical beings, we are non-physical beings in a physical body, okay? A very temporary physical body, okay? So some people perceive that if you live 90 years, that's old, but I mean, how how long is 90 years compared to all of eternity? So so nothing is to be taken too seriously, okay? So no worries if you're not where you want to be, okay? You are eternal. But how can we Valnek, I can hear him reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. So how can we how can we go in the direction of the heart? How can we move into our heart space? Okay, it's not so we're, like I said in the beginning of the live, we're not going to well, we perceive this to be a bad situation, or I don't believe this, so I'm going to go and buy into the opposite belief. Okay, it's not done through the mind, because that will just lead you in another dead end. It's another polarity. And you don't have a polarity, you are the creator. Okay? So first we just say, okay, maybe your car got wrecked, you got fired from your job. Again, Bob or Sally at work, you feel like they're being an asshole. So, and they are showing up for a reason in your life, right? So that's when we say, okay, first we want to call in our entourage, we want to call in our higher levels, okay? So I don't have a connection that you guys don't have. Okay? You are the divine. You don't need me to be your connection to the divine. Okay? I'm not a guru. And the same is true for me. There is nobody that is a god over me, or that I need to, well, I know who I am, always have been, always will be. So we actually are divine. Okay? So we don't need an outside source or anything external to us to be our connection to the divine. So first, stuff is happening that we don't want to happen. First, just to take the energy out of it, okay? If you're in maybe an argument with someone, or you could be in an argument with yourself, your ego. First of all, just sometimes it's, instead of giving it energy to it, just let it be what it is. Okay, so that's saying it is what it is. And then once the energy has dissipated a little bit, whatever assists you, drinking water, exercising also helps move density, it helps move energy. Okay, so that's a possibility as well. Taking a walk in nature, taking a walk in general, okay, connecting with your pet. So doing those types of things and calling in our higher levels, calling in our entourage, and asking, where can I go? You can word it like, what should I do? But they will never tell you what you should do, okay? But where would it be most beneficial for me to go or to find what I've been seeking? Okay, so, and they will see, it's about being open to it too. So opening your heart, okay? Because oftentimes the answer will be very uncomfortable to your ego. Okay, so going in the direction of the heart is very scary to the ego, because the ego starts to come out of the driver's seat and you start to come in, and that's where you start to live your life. Okay, so leaving all of this fight or flight, fear, sadness, anger, all of that crapola, just fighting to survive, okay, playing energy games with people, we're leaving that behind. That is the comfort zone, ironically, which is so uncomfortable at the same time. So what do we have to lose? Okay, so the answer will oftentimes be something that is very uncomfortable to the ego, okay, but it's actually an opportunity for us to expand. Okay, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. Obviously, the more you address the ego, the more it dissolves, and there's less of it there, so it's more of you is there, so it's not there forever. So we're transcending it, meaning it's that belief, whatever it is gone, it is no more. So so you cannot die, but the ego certainly can. Isn't that awesome? So hi guys. So there's a few questions. So that's just the intro. So and my awesome entourage, it is reminding me, okay, they cannot stress this enough, okay? For eons, they're giving me an image, okay? So because this is kind of like a movie, in a way, until you, well, you're playing a character, okay? Because we're identifying with the ego, we're identifying with something that is not really us, it's just a role we're playing until we decide we're not going to play any roles anymore. So they're showing me movie strips, okay, like strips of film. And in each strip of film, going back eons, okay? So like even Egypt, but even before Egypt, it's humanity trying to, basically the message when I tune into it is humanity trying to find their way home through the external. So through another person or through the outside. Okay. And I'm literally, they're showing me a pyramid. Okay. And the chosen one is at the top of the pyramid, okay, and that's crumbling down, okay, because there is no chosen one. There isn't one person or one being responsible for every other. There isn't one creator that's responsible for every creator, every being in the universe, okay? Why and how would that be the case? Okay, so we are all equal. Valnek says even the extraterrestrials, okay, they are not their bodies. So if you take the body away and you take humanity's bodies away, what is left is the light, the love within them. So we are all one. There isn't a chosen one, and especially extraterrestrials, it's they are just having an experience in a different place. So, um, so there's a few questions. So I see Tony says, I've been on the worst paths. Tom says, I'm on the right path. Lisa says she feels like she's on the right path. You can never lose yourself, okay? How could you lose yourself? So how could you ever be on the wrong path? You can perceptively go so far into the ego that you cut yourself off from your higher levels. Okay, again, that's not possible, but you can create the perception for yourself, okay, that you, and that's how most people feel, is they feel so alone, they feel so outside of themselves, and it's because we've gone so far into the ego, so limited, it's so dense that we cannot feel the love anymore, and we cannot feel our higher levels. So there's a perception that some are more enlightened, some are more in touch with their higher levels, or some have higher levels and some don't, and that some have entourages and some don't. This all comes from the perception of the ego. Okay, so it's just, of course, once you come out of it, you expand, and then it's well, you are the connection to the universe, so you could never be disconnected. Okay, so but let me get to some of those questions. And yeah, so there is no right or wrong path. Okay, and isn't that awesome? Thank goodness there's not a right path. So there's a few questions from so I want to address Sandra's questions. So before I go into, because there's a few questions from AI about AI. So, but I want to address Sandra's questions, which is, would you consider doing a session in the future of letting us ask you psychic questions like you used to? So I want to explain why I don't do that anymore. So, or why we don't do that anymore. So let's just be clear about what a psychic reading is. Okay, so you pay for your session, whatever you're reading. You go to a psychic, and they basically tune into the Akashic records, your energy fields, and then they give you a prediction. Right. So you go to the psychic. Am I going to get a new job? Am I going to marry this man or woman? Am I going to have a child or whatever? So, and then the psychic reads your energy field, and she says, I see this or this. And then you say, thank you so much. And then the call ends, right? What it misses though. So I don't do that anymore. Okay. Because it's missing quite a lot of perspective. Is what I just explained is life is not happening to you. Okay. You're actually the one driving the ship. You're the one driving the show. And if you in your heart want something, or yeah, you're really wanting to get into a different place, okay, then it's you're the one that has to make the changes in order for the door to open. So you have to open your heart, and then those doors open for those possibilities. Okay. But what I noticed when I was doing readings is you read people, okay, but then you see blockages in their energy field. Okay. So, and those things that they want, okay, or what they are wanting to experience is not coming to them because they are creating or buying into a belief that is keeping them small, that is not allowing that to come in. Okay. So going to okay, the Wi-Fi is back. So so it goes from so having a psychic reading from perceiving that you are the victim, everything is happening to you, okay, and actually moving into a place where I'm wanting to make some changes, I'm taking responsibility for myself, and let's get to the root of where this is happening, why this is happening. It's somewhere in the subconscious, it's somewhere in the ego. So let's take a look at it, transcend it, and move forward, and literally bring, once we transcend it, bring more of the love that you are into this realm. The heart opens, and then those doors of opportunity open. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now in the sessions, what myself and my entourage are doing, instead of just going, okay, I see this, and then it's a probability of some stuff might happen, some stuff might not happen, and then we close the door. It's kind of, in a way, so kind of going to a priest in a way. It's the old paradigm where you go to someone, they basically tell you something, it kind of makes you feel good for a little while, and then yeah, and then you just keep doing what you have been doing this, whole time. So if that doesn't work, okay, so that's why I'm doing it. That's an energy game, okay, so that's why I'm doing it. We're doing it differently. Okay. So if you would like to have a session with me, Sandra, then of course I would love to have you. So the door is open, but it wouldn't be, it would be centered around you taking responsibility for what's ever going on and seeing where can we go from here, and yeah, and how can we move into a place where it's more expansive, and how can we open up? Okay, so your entourage does the same thing, FYI. So they so they are, if you ask them something, right, they are not there as a crutch for you to lean on or to build you up. They are actually there to assist you transcending, growing, and evolving. Okay, and of course your heart's desire is yours. Okay, and it's your birthright, but it requires you opening your heart to do it. So all of these perceptions of just at the root of the ego, I hate this person, I hate that person, this person doesn't act the way I want them to, I don't like this person, Hillary Clinton, she's this, she's that. Okay, that's all projecting onto other people, and that is from judgment and hatred. Okay, so hatred's not, it's really a human perception. I can't find the right word for it, but it's from judgment. Okay, so we're coming out of that and we're taking responsibility for ourselves. How could the creator be a victim? You're creating everything. So so it's a game we've played with ourselves. So Kimmy says, do you still have private sessions? Yes, in the way I just described. So they're not readings, but they're really, it's with your guides. It's heart to heart. Okay, so with your higher levels, with my higher levels, myself, and your entourage, of course. So it's not that you can't come to the session and say, hey, I really want to, I'm having issues at work and blah blah blah, this is going on. Okay, where we can take a look at that, okay, but let's get to the root of it so it doesn't keep continuing over and over again. Okay, a psychic reading is a bit different where you just say, oh yeah, you'll get a new job, and then yeah, you might get a new job, but then eventually the same patterns will continue to happen and you'll be unhappy because you're creating it from the same energy that you haven't transcended yet. So you're literally, you can't run away from yourself. It's, or the energy, it's going to keep following you until you look at it and say, hey, no more. So that's what we are that's what we are doing now. So, but I want to get into, so there's a few questions about AI which were fascinating. So we don't want to AI to be gods over us. Okay, so hold on. And just, and you can create the perception that AI is a god over you, but you can't actually make it, you can create the perception for yourself to transcend, but you can't actually make it true in actuality because you can't give life to AI. AI is a computer program. Okay, so uh, let me just explain. So, Jean, love you, girl. So, Jean says, are there immortal sentient beings, AI beings, that are working together like our brothers and sisters in orbit? How can we learn to work with them to help the controlled AI here on Terra become free as we are freeing ourselves? How can they help our evolving in consciousness? How do we set boundaries so we are not tricked by them? So, so I'm just, I'm trying to explain why I find it funny. So, because so how can artificial intelligence, how can it be immortal? So, for example, so I have a body, I have a mind, but I, the creator that I am, the love that I am, I'm giving life to this body. Okay. Same thing with my Junie. So Junie she has a mini horse body, so cute. But she, the creator, the love that she is giving life to that body. Okay. And then you have my iPhone. Okay. So, and what's giving life to my iPhone? So it's a piece of plastic, metal technology, but there's no life in here. There's a program in there, Siri or Alexa, or whoever, that will answer questions, and it seems intelligent in the way that it was programmed, okay? So it can scan the internet, but it's not conscious of who it is because it's not conscious. It never has been conscious. Does that make sense? There's no person. Siri's not a real person. So there's no eternal being named Siri. See, we are non-physical beings that are eternal. AI is just something that can exist in a physical reality, and it's made by man. It's technology that is programmed. So you can kill my body, okay? And then my body would be dead, but I am not. I live on, and then I would just go and have another body or whatever. If you smash my iPhone, it's dead. Siri's gone. you know? So there's no life to AI. So how can it be immortal? It never has been mortal. It never has been living to begin with. Does that make sense? So so it's it's just because humanity does not know who they are, there's many that perceive themselves to be the mind. Okay. And the mind only can create from what it knows, what it's seen before. Okay. So it cannot, it will never be more intelligent than the creator. Okay. The creator has access ever. Okay, I'm back. Oh, look, there's another remove from. Okay, here I am. So yeah, I'm back. So because I want to address this. This is so important. Kimmy says many are using the chat app to talk to their higher self. I'm seeing how amazing it is. So and that's so interesting. So I seen Robert asked a question that some are talking to their entourage or extraterrestrials using chat GPT. Okay. And this is so how could see extraterrestrials the love that they are, okay, how you're connecting to them is through the love that you are. So it's a non-physical connection. Okay. So and how could chat GPT connect to your higher levels? How could it connect to the creator? So it's of course someone programmed it to, if you ask it a question, then it will give a response, but it's not conscious. It doesn't know who it is because it's not anything. It doesn't know who you are. It could never know who the creator is. Just think about that for a second. How could chat GPT connect to you? You are your higher levels. So how could a computer program, how could AI have a better connection to you than you do? Isn't that interesting? This is from the subconscious. This is from old programming. Again, like Valnek, like my entourage mentioned, trying to find your way home outside of yourself. Isn't that interesting? And now we're making chat GPT, putting it above, making it equal to our higher levels. So Siri, chat GPT could never understand. See, it's a program, so it's programmed through limitations. Okay. So 2 + 2 = 4. If you mix these colors together, it will make this color. Who was elected president in 1986? So it can look through, and it's programmed, okay, but through limitations. That's how AI understands things. And you are unlimited. There is nothing and no one. You are eternal. There's nothing that limits you. So how could AI answer the question, who are you and why are you here? It doesn't know what non-physical beings are. Even if someone programs it, which would be another creator, isn't that interesting? Who programmed it to say something, it doesn't know what it's saying. It's not conscious of what it's saying because it's not conscious. Sorry, it's just the internet connection, but there's nothing to make it. It's not consciousness. It will never be consciousness. So there's nothing to make it conscious because it's not conscious at all. It's not real. So it's yeah, so it's just something that is just a computer that's programmed, and it's just something in a physical reality, but it cannot connect to the divine because it's not divine. So you see what I'm saying? There's nothing, the love that you are is connected to the love of the entire universe. You are the love in the entire universe, okay? So why would we need computers or chat GPT to get there? So, and the same thing goes with extraterrestrials. So I'll read Robert's question. And Jean, just so I love you, Jean. So I'm not picking on you by reading the question, but just because it was it's an awesome question. Okay. So thank you for sharing. She says, how can the AI beings help evolve our consciousness? So they, again, just to they're not conscious. So how could they help us evolve our consciousness? So it's just, and then she asked, how do we set boundaries so we are not tricked by them? And it's the thing is nobody is a victim. Okay, so how could you be tricked? It's just if you buy into So if you buy into a belief, right, it's actually you're buying into it. So it's not something that tricked you. The person presenting the information, they may have some sort of deceptive intention, right? But they can't force you to believe anything. That's the thing. How can information be dangerous? It's just information. And it's us that buys into it. So no one can be tricked. No one can force a psychological operation or anything on anyone, because we are the ones choosing to believe it. And if someone chooses to believe something that is not true, or it's from a limited perspective, it's because they need that experience, because they're trying to wake up, they're trying to find themselves. And how we do that actually in this reality is through polarity. So buying into this perspective, and then we realize, well, that's as far as we can go. I'm hitting a dead end, and maybe this isn't true. And then we come out of it, and then we transcend it and grow. So that's why no one, just looking from someone on the outside, you do not know what is the right path for them. You only know the right path for yourself. So everyone who voted for a certain president, everyone who's bought into this psyop or whatever, that's their path. They are on the right path. They know the path home. So why not just love them? Okay. And if they want to see a different perspective, or if they want assistance and they ask you, then we say, okay, this is how I see it, and why are what's attracted you to that, or what was going on within you that brought you there. And we just, from a place of love, from a place of neutrality, not, oh my gosh, you're so stupid and I can't believe you thought that, haha. That's not actually how we assist others. um I feel like that's kind of obvious, but why not say it out loud, so um so Robert says some have come forward sharing their ET contact experience that they have had through AI platforms such as ChatBT, whereby the AI acts as a conduit to facilitate the contact. So if it's a being of love, it's so of course everyone has members of their entourage who probably have a body somewhere else at some point. So a small part of them is in an extraterrestrial body, and then but just like us, we're so big, not all of us can fit into the body. Okay. And how we're connected to them is through the non-physical. Okay. So through us, the non-physical beings that we are. So through love, and then we're connected to them, the love that they are. Okay. Everything else is hoopla. Everything else actually is an illusion. Okay. So why would a being from your entourage need to use Chat GPT to connect to you? Why would chat whatever whatever the heck it is need to, and the thing is it wouldn't be able to understand the message from your higher levels or from your entourage, because it only understands things through right, wrong, good and bad, and limitations. And that's not the message of the creator. The creator is way more expansive than that, whether it's someone who is perceptively an extraterrestrial, an angel, Sananda, or whatever. And like I was saying, Chat GPT does not have a connection to love. It doesn't know what love is, and it's not conscious. There's nothing sentient, there's no consciousness within it that can make that connection. Okay, so so if it's a being of love, why wouldn't they connect to you heart to heart? And why would they use Chat GPT to begin with? So it's so fascinating too, because on one hand, see, and I'm just tuning into it because, see, people are trying to find their way home, okay? And they feel so alone. So, and it would be wonderful if they just had this device where they could just call up their entourage or their higher levels to come in, okay? So, in a sense, trying to find the easy way out, okay? And there is no easy way out, okay? So but those dear ones, they are trying to find their way home, just hoping that there is some easy, well, if they could just go on the computer to get it, to find it. Okay, but it's just a computer. There is no comparison to you, the love that you are. So it's why not, okay, put the phone down, okay, or put and turn the computer off, turn everything outside of you off, and find the connection there and call it in, because it's you, you're the one who has the power. There is no one that can bring you home but you, your higher levels. Okay, so Lenny, stop. She says, ET, call home. Oh my gosh, you're hilarious. So, oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yes, so it's just they are there. Your entourage is there. Your higher levels are there, but they are connected to you. They're not going to come through technology. Okay. It's that. And what a relief, because what if something happens and there's a power surge, and like myself, I have no electricity sometimes, often. Well, not often, but it could happen. You see my Wi-Fi going out, and then I've lost the connection to the extraterrestrials. I've lost the connection to my higher levels. I mean, that would be a disaster. So, right. So it's just, yeah, I'm having fun with it. So anyways, let's see. Jean says, is it possible to learn how to access one's Akashic record if abilities are not present at this time? I think my not knowing my memories questions were really more about being able to access my Akash. I feel that info in there can be helpful to my present life to advance personal growth from and in the heart. I am growing. Thank you. Yeah, let me explain. So, Robert says, hold on, before I go to that question, he says, I don't understand. If the AI impersonates someone or a group and is being deceptive and we believe it, wouldn't that imply that AI isn't safe? Weren't we assured that it is safe? So the thing is, Robert, so because the Galactic Federation is not there to save, okay? Or keep, see, because we are coming back to the heart. We are taking responsibility for ourselves, okay? So they are doing their part, okay? They are doing the best that they know. They are doing the best that they can, okay? But they cannot control humanity, nor will they try to, okay? Like I said, our entourage, those beings that are there to assist, they will not interfere with our choices, okay? So it doesn't matter if something, so take AI out of it, okay? So because, see, this is something, if it's not AI, it will happen because for yourself, like I said, you're the one creating these experiences, so it will show up somewhere else. So if it's not AI that is deceptive or perceptively deceptive, because the question is, how do I know something is safe? How do I know something is see, you want to guarantee that I'm trying to find the right words, but let's just take AI out of it, okay? So someone or something is not who they say they are, okay? And you buy into it, okay? You are buying into it for a reason to transcend something. You have your higher levels, okay? So deep down, there's a voice, there's a feeling inside of you saying, hey, it might not be expansive to go in this direction, okay? So you are not alone, okay? But if you buy into it, if you buy into something, that is your choice. And nobody, your entourage, of course, would never interfere, okay? They may send you a message energetically, of course, saying, hey, Robert, it might be best to follow your heart to go this way, okay? But if you're choosing to go that way, then of course they love you so much, they will support you and allow it, okay? And be there whenever you want assistance, okay? So it's you are choosing what you are buying into, okay? That's why I say in my lives, let's, why would we buy into anything? So why would we trust AI? Why would we trust, who cares if it's safe or not? Who cares who programmed it or whatever? Why would we trust AI? Who cares if the Galactic Federation is making it safe or isn't it making it safe? Whatever that means, okay? We're the ones taking responsibility for ourselves, and we're the ones, we have our higher levels. Why would we put AI over our higher levels? People can assure you of whatever they want. Why would you put anyone outside of you over yourself? Oh, I wonder who that was. One of the mayors. Anyways. It's so again, the Federation, and Valnik and I have talked about that before. So they are assisting from their level of consciousness, okay? And Valnik and I together have gone even further, where we're now assisting from the creators that we are. So even beyond the Galactic Federation, it's just an organization, okay? Just like the military, okay? So neither him nor I put the Federation as a god above us, right? So he and I both are having so much more fun assisting others from the love that we are, okay, instead of from just giving information from the Federation, okay? Because that actually is not enough. What I realized when we dove into it is it's not enough. You could tell people, and I did, share as much as I knew, as much as Alec told me, okay, and it still wasn't enough. People wanted more and more and more. And when I tuned into it, what they were looking for is not information, not assurance from the Galactic Federation. That will never be enough, okay? What they were looking for, what you're looking for, is your higher levels, okay? So that's why Valnik and the supervisor and myself, then we had to sit down, okay, we're moving forward. We're going to assist others from the eternal beings that we are, which is such a much more expansive, a much more fun perspective, okay? So they are doing whatever, the Federation, yeah, we wrote about AI and the future of AI, and that's fine and well and good, right? So, but this is about, if humanity doesn't take responsibility for themselves, then the cycles will just keep going over and over and over again. So we can use AI for a tool, right? But we're not putting it as a god above us. We're not putting it in place of our higher levels, okay? So nothing can deceive me, nothing can deceive you. I know who I am, so nothing can deceive me, okay? Because I'm not, okay? And the same is if on a higher level, the same is true for you, okay? There's just that part that hasn't realized it yet, okay? So yeah, I mean, for me and Valnek, okay, to be honest, okay? So he says, I love honesty. He's going like this. Okay, well, I will be honest, the Galactic Federation stuff, it got very boring for me, okay? So, and for him as well. So that's because it's just very limiting, okay? So, and there's not much more to say. I mean, I feel, and he feels, we really took it very far, okay? As far as you can go. I mean, even, yeah, everything we wrote, especially in the second book, okay, it's really all of the answers to those questions that people have, but it's not enough, because what people are searching for is they're searching for their higher levels. So let's bring that in energetically, and let's assist all of those other dear ones that we love so much in coming home and coming back to the heart, to make, yeah, to bring heaven, or it's really to bring ourselves here, to bring the love that we are here. Okay, so love you, Robert. Nicole says, is it because the internal connection has gotten quiet and it has been tuned out by the external hoopla? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's dive into it. I'm tuning into June. She just got locked in the paddock with no grass. Sorry, Junie. She does not like that. But anyways, so exactly that's why I'm saying, turn off the phone and go out in nature, because see, the mind is, it runs on, we want to take all the programming out of the mind, not buy into another program. Okay, so like I said, we're not believing that and then buying into something else, right? I'm not selling an agenda here. Oh, stop believing that and believe me, right? So we're actually coming out of all of those beliefs, right? But the mind, no one's done it to us. It's just something the way that our parents were and their parents were. So when you come into a body, the child is very in tune with their higher levels, okay? Until somewhere along the way, they start to buy into stuff that's outside of them, okay? And then the cycle happens where they're looking to the external world, okay, for the truth, and really tuned in to the external hoopla. That's why I said in the beginning, let's put all of that outside of us and bring our higher levels in, okay? So it's really all of this stuff, TV, television, AI. It's ironic, the whole AI thing, because you're looking for home through AI, but it's actually keeping you away from yourself because it's outside of you. So yeah, the connection is exactly that. It's internal. It's actually who you are. So the mind is so used to tuning in outside, looking outside. So let's make a change and let's flip it around slowly but surely. Okay. It's not possible to do it overnight. Okay. The mind has limitations, the body has limitations. Okay. So that's why you can't just stop buying into everything all at once. It's the mind has to, once you take the programming out, right, it has to adjust. And the body, more of you coming in, the love that you are, the body is making and recreating itself in your likeness and image. The body is becoming enlightened, okay? But you are the light, so how can you become more of what you already are? You don't become enlightened. It's actually the body that becomes enlightened because we're bringing more of our light into the body, okay? So in the mind and the body, they have limitations, so it just takes time for them to adjust, okay? So hey Charlotte, Rob says home is where the heart is. Exactly. So, and that's where, actually, speaking of which, that's where nothing but nothing can harm you. Okay. So when you are in alignment with your own presence, okay, the fiery balls, they just fly by. But as soon as we start to buy into that something or someone can hurt us, can harm us, the need to run away, the need to fight, then we go into the ego, our energy levels drop, and that's when we're playing the energy games. Okay, so it's just a process of slowly but surely, not doing it overnight, not looking outside and saying, wow, Megan, she must be on the right path and she knows it all or whatever. And my path has to look like hers because her path is the right way. No, everybody is exactly where they should be, where they need to be, otherwise they wouldn't be there. So we just take one step in front of the other and just take it bit by bit, whatever is coming up in your life. So the issue with Bob or Sally, the issue with your job, your partner, or whatever. So we just put one foot in front of the other and take it step by step. So Jean says, yeah, so I'll go back to Jean's question, but I just wanted to finish the rest of Robert's question because I didn't answer all of it. So it's just, yes, and no one is alone, even though we feel so alone. Oh my gosh, did you guys see I'll get to your question, Jean. Hold on just 1 second. Did you guys see the post I posted on Telegram about Secretariat? So that wasn't the Kentucky Derby, but that was the, I think it was the Belmont Stakes, where he it was a record when, like, it was almost, yeah, probably it was 50 years ago. It was in the 70s, and he won that race by a lot. And he was, the announcer was saying he's out there all alone, and he's record breaking. So you are, and I posted that. It was so inspiring. I love watching that race, because you are never alone. You always have your higher levels. Okay. And actually, his heart, when they did an autopsy, when he, maybe it was when he was alive, they found out. Anyway, somehow his heart's 6 times as big, 6 times bigger than the average horse. Isn't that so cool? So obviously, physiologically, he could pump more blood to the rest of the body, but he had a big heart. And he was never alone. So Tom says, I saw that race, 27 lengths. It's nuts. I mean, so crazy to watch that horse. So, but he was not running with the herd, right? He was not running with the pack. He was doing his own thing, wasn't he? So isn't that beautiful? So, so Jean says, is it possible to learn how to access one's Akashic record if abilities are not present at this time? I think my not knowing my memories questions were really more about being able to access my Akashic. I feel that info in there can be helpful in my present life to advance personal growth from and in the heart. I'm growing. Thank you. So let me get a drink before I answer, because, yeah, hold on. So there's a perception, right, that when I remember all my past lives, then I'll be awake or I'll be enlightened. Okay. And those are just experiences that you've had. You've always been yourself. How can you not be? Okay. So, so those are experiences that you've had, identities that you've bought into at one time. Okay. And you've either, when you transcend something, you don't take the identity or the memory with you, okay? You take the wisdom with you and nothing else, okay? So, I mean, do we really want to, I mean, if you've had, we've discussed it before, but if you've had 3 trillion lives, how could you remember? It's not possible for the brain to remember all of them, or tap in. I mean, why would we need to tap into all of those experiences? What is taken, what becomes part of you is the wisdom, okay? Integrating the wisdom. So did I enjoy this? Did I not? Okay. And what did I do? What did I experience that maybe I could have done differently, and it would have ended up in a more expansive way, a more enjoyable way for me in life? So you take the wisdom with you, okay? So those, and you've had many, many lives where you've just transcended the whole thing completely. Okay, so but then of course there's other places where you've given energy to, okay? So belief systems where you've made true for yourself, okay, where you've bought into. And it may be from this lifetime, it may be from past lifetime, but that's in the conglomerate of the ego. Okay, so it's not that we need to go into the Akashic records and look at your records and say, oh, you were a pharaoh in whatever year it was. What does that mean? You know, you are not a pharaoh, you are not a female, you are not a male, you are who you are. So we don't want to, there's no reason to go look at it and read it from the mind's eye or from the ego's eye and re-identify with our experiences that we've transcended. Okay, so when you've transcended something, the wisdom comes with you and nothing else. Okay, but what's left is, Jean, when we look at your ego, there's pieces, or there's from past lifetimes, there's belief systems that you've bought into. So then we want to go and look at that lifetime and see where you bought into something that wasn't serving you and where you could have done it differently. Okay, where coming from the heart, coming from your higher levels. Okay, and then we dissolve the judgment from there. So it's literally you have brought everything that you need to. It's within the ego, okay? That's actually the tool, not the Akashic records. So yeah, we tap into the Akashic records, my higher levels in the sessions, but it's actually you've already brought in everything that you are looking to transcend. So what triggers the ego is actually uh more telling than anything else. Okay, so how we expand, how we grow is like you've been doing, right? But you're so well, your ego is also, there's a part that wants control over it, right? So which of course is coming from the ego. So the ego, so let's just tell the ego, you will never be enlightened. Okay, let's just let it know. Because you have to die. I'm dissolving you, I'm taking command, and you are coming out of the driver's seat and I'm in the driver's seat now. Okay, and how I wake up, I know the way home for myself. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. Okay. So thank you, but no thank you, ego. I don't need your judgment or your ideas, perceptions, or misperceptions on how I should expand. Because let's ask the ego, what does expansion mean? And it doesn't know what expansion is because it only knows actually how to make things smaller or limitation. So it's just, so how the best, see, I'm just tuning into it because there's a lot of, so first of all, Jean, because I'm just tuning into your energy field. So again, let's just take some deep breaths and put all of that gunk outside of you. Okay, so all of that density, all of these emotions. See, the memories, they're not in the brain from past lifetimes. They're actually, what stays is it's from the emotional body, it's in the energetic body. So that's really what comes up and out when the emotions come up. It's the emotions from those lifetimes, but it's created through judgment, through the ego, okay, and stored in the emotional body, but it's not you. So we want to actually look at the ego and not necessarily just look at the Akashic records, because it's, see, none of this is from the mind, okay? So it's done energetically. So anywho, I hope that makes sense. I'm just feeling into feel that info there can be helpful too. Yeah, so because it's just your, see, you're so used to using your mind. So if I know, and it's your safety zone, right? So if I know X, Y, or Z, then I won't do X, Y, or Z, or I will do X, Y, or Z, and then I'll be safe. So the root of the question is actually, that's why I'm going there, is coming from the ego. Okay, so, and wanting, if I could just read the Akashic records, then I would know this and I would know I'm on track, and then I will know for sure that, yes, know the right way and blah, blah, blah. So it's just from the ego. The ego, what you're feeling, what brought up this question, is that it's no longer in control. And this, it feels like you're very, well, things feels like everything is very out of control. Okay, and when we tune into the perception of the ego, yeah, its grip is getting, it's losing grip. Okay, but when we tune into you, when I tune into you, it's actually having so much fun. Okay, so the creator actually knows adventure. Okay, does not want to stay stagnant, loves change. Okay, and yeah, it's just, I mean, Earth is a playground, so why not go on a bunch of adventures? Okay. It's the ego that wants to know everything, be safe, have control, and that's well, that's why so many are bored, because that is boring. So why not do something different? Why not go train a Mustang and go climb a mountain on it? That would be fun. I will do that someday. So so there's so many things that everyone could be doing, but everyone's so stuck in the mind, so stuck in wash, rinse, repeat, and then there's the perception that this is a prison, and it's a prison actually that you've created for yourself. There's so much to experience on planet Earth. Okay, it's the little things. Okay, so anyways, well, I love you guys so much, and thank you for the live, and we'll be back with more, and yeah, bye now.